Hey, a little video about lathering with inexpensive soap. I have been trying out the premium soaps like Taylor of Old Bond Street, Sella, Razor Rock, Prorazzo, and Barrister and Mann, and they are great soaps. And that, for me, started just several months ago, and that's it. And I've been wet shaving for 3 years or so. Prior to that, I was just using, or prior to these kind of premium soaps, I was using just kind of normal soaps, as well as the puck that comes with the Vanderhagen mug that they sell at Walmart. That's what I used for such a long time until it ran out. When it ran out, I looked at the price and I said, what about these bar soaps that they have at the Dollar Tree and at Walmart for such an inexpensive price? Are those substitutes for the Vanderhagen puck? Didn't know what I was doing, but I just started to try them out. I used Irish Spring for a while there. Some of them did not keep a good lather. You know, you put it on your face and it would just dissipate. Like Kirk's Castile, I remember, would do that. Irish Spring wouldn't. It was decent. It wasn't as, by no means luxurious, anything like the nice creams and cropes and soaps that we have out. But the last one that I tried was Yardley Shea Buttermilk, and it lasted me for a month or two of shaves, or rather, it provided me with a month or two of shaves before I stopped using it. I didn't come close to using up the bar, and so I'm sure it would have been, in terms of long lasting, it would have been competitive with a tub of some of the premium soaps, all for $1. So I couldn't help but want to try. With my new lathering skills that I have learned from so many YouTubers out there. Thank you so much for putting your wisdom online so we can learn from it. But back then, when I was using a soap like this, an Irish Spring, I didn't have those lathering skills. And so here's the Yardley bar of soap. And I thought, you know what, will this be how will this perform if I apply my new shaving lathering techniques? And a new brush, brush that I've had now for a few months that I really like, Silver Tip from Whipped Dog. Very glad to have that. Nice silver tip at a reasonable cost. They're so expensive otherwise. So here's the soap, Whipped Dog. All it's got is some water on it. Let's start getting this guy wet. And I did this, I couldn't resist. And so I did this earlier today with hard water, with my tap water. And I was amazed at the lather that I got. It had sheen, it had body, it was thick. And it made me laugh because, we buy these soaps for $20 and $30 a tub. Now, granted, they last a good long while, for the most part, and so they're not too extravagant when you look over the long haul. But when you compare it to a $1 bar of soap, you can already see we're starting to get the lather. I also kind of laugh because there are some videos out there of people who say, this is the greatest lathering tutorial you'll ever need to get the most luxurious soap. And as if it's some big secret, and what it turns out to be is just load the brush for a long time with soap. And it's not exactly rocket science there. So I used my hard water, my tap water, and it did lather nicely. So the Shea, the Yardley's does handle hard water pretty well. I didn't shave with it at the time because my beard didn't need it. but I was just curious, so I decided to whip it up anyway. Hey, it's a $1 bar of soap. I'll just waste it, pour it down the drain. And so now, look at all that, from a $1 bar of soap, from Walmart or the Dollar Tree. All right, I feel like I should be, loaded up enough with my brush and my hand. Look at all that. We'll just see how this turns into as far as using a bowl to lather up. You guys can stare at my bald spot while I rinse my hand off. So we know that the hard water works. And I was just curious if there was a difference with the distilled water. Now, if you've got your other premium soaps, I got really big results, better, nice results when I switched to using distilled water, because my house water is so hard that I just went back and kind of re-experimented with so many of my other soaps. And I was so pleased that I was able to, with Taylor and so many of the others that I had, the results were so much better, thicker lather. And I also started with this brush, which was had been soaked. That's super important when you're dealing with these brushes. And see, already we've got some good stuff forming, but I think I'm going to need to add just a little bit of water. Usually end up adding too much by then, but didn't really feel like trying to put everything down and use my hands to dip into the cup and get the distilled water and all that. So you saw you could calculate how many seconds I loaded my brush with from the bar of soap. So that'll give you an idea of what you might do if you ever go buy a bar of Yardley's. Now, see, already I've got a pretty good sheen on it. Pretty cool. Someday I'm going to try to find one of those bowls with the ridges and stuff on it. I think that'll help me speed things up with the lather. I've already got peaks showing up on the inside of the bowl. This is a dog bowl that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I like it a lot so far. I'm trying to find a good bowl to use. So many of the ones on Amazon are so small. I'm pretty sure that I am interested in something kind of big. And I like this because look at that. How about that? Now, as to whether it's very substantive right now in that it's holding its own weight. So I'm interested to see how it performs on the skin, whether it's kind of dry and just kind of airy, or moist, lubricative. We'll just see. All right, $1, and we're putting together some nice lather here. Of course, the joke may be on me when I put it on my face and it just goes away. Something like that. I want to add some more water. I was very glad for the tutorial that showed, pretty sure it was Michael Friedberg, showed how to build a lather, and the technique he was using was to kind of start out with it's better to start out with a little less moisture in your brush as you're learning to get the ratios right. And because you can always add a few drops of water at a time. That has really helped me, because prior to that, I think I was just having too much water in there. And yeah, look at that. Appearance-wise, it's competitive with all these premium creams that I've been whipping up lately. Now, I'm sticking with like $20 creams and $15 creams on Amazon, and the little sampler packs. Love that. And so when I say premium, that's what I mean. There's probably stuff out there that's much more expensive than that, but that's not for me at this point in my life. All right, so holy cow. So there we go. And I don't even need to shave yet, but I'm gonna, just because of science. I have Mercur with a Bluebird in it. This is the 38 HD barber pole. And it's got a Bluebird in there. It's my first time using the Bluebird. Got that in a sample pack, and I haven't tried it out yet. I think it's supposed to be pretty sharp. Okay, that might be what's in my brain about this one. Let me wet up my face. All right, let's see what this lather will do. Maybe I added too much water, and now it's not thick enough. We'll just see. Kind of thin looking right away. I think I did add too much water. Not very substantive. Now, I have already used this soap to shave with for, like I said, a few months. And so I know that it works. It's not going to be luxurious, but it'll get the job done. And so for you wanting to put together an inexpensive, super inexpensive starter kit, might be the way to go. With a blade that costs 6 cents maybe by the time you buy the 100 pack, and maybe if you can find a good razor that costs $10 and a $1 bar of soap, you can have a good shave. All right, so yeah, it's kind of even. It got a little thicker than I thought. Once I switched to the wiping, the swiping and the painting method instead of the swirling. Let's try this Bluebird out. Oh, that feels good. Now, I like Friedberg's method of starting parallel and then coming out. I've had much better success with that. A lot fewer nicks as well. And I can use the sharper blades like feather, which I couldn't before. Because before I was starting out perpendicular and then coming in until it started to cut. And well, tell you what, it's feeling good. Now there's an attribute called cushion that I don't know anything about. I keep hearing it thrown around. So that's something I haven't learned yet. This area right here is still a little razor burn from last night. So that might actually be a good test. Because if I can shave with this soap on that area and not cause flare up or irritation or whatever, then maybe it's a good sign it's protective. So I like that Bluebird so far. Oh yeah, that is pretty sharp. Okay, gonna rinse. All right, let's put on that second layer. Here's my dog bowl. And I like the way that, I was going to mention this earlier, I like the way that it's not a curved bottom. It comes over to the corner and then starts to go up. And so it gives the lather somewhere to go. Kind of up instead of out. Previous to this brush, this whipped dog, this is their, this is the next to the top size. I bought the top size as well, and I really like it. Right now I'm experimenting with this next one to see what attributes I like better about the smaller knot. Feels like I'm rubbing puppies on my face. I had the Vanderhagen, which I believe was a Finest Badger grade brush for a few years, and it's, I mean, I'm sure this one gives you the same shave as that one basically. This is just a lot more comfortable, and I think the price can be justified if you think about it in terms of the number of years you're likely to have a good quality shaving brush. Now, it's lighter than most of the premium stuff that I've used lately. Taylor, Cello, Perazzo, Razor Rock, Barrister and Man. It's definitely lighter, but it's not dissipating. So hey, if all of a sudden your budget takes a hit and you can't afford the shaving soap you might prefer, then maybe this guy is a fallback. Just hilarious that I laughed at myself so hard this morning when I tried this. Well, I was going with the grain again there. This is my cross grain pass. It's protecting pretty well. Now I believe, I don't know if this razor is, pretty sure this might be a mild razor. I don't know what the 38, what the blade exposure is for the 38. I'm sure a lot of you out there who have been doing it longer than me know it by heart. Not really feeling too much irritation at all, so that's good. Pass number 3. Here we go with pass number 3. That's just hilarious. I keep thinking about $1. I was experimenting with all the bar soaps that you can get, like at the Dollar Tree. Trying those out. And the Irish Spring would work. It wouldn't dissipate. It maintained its decent level of protection. It wasn't luxurious. Had a fresh, manly smell to it, kind of, you know, for those old school dudes like me. Kind of old school, at least. Now, I noticed in the bowl, it is kind of drying out a little bit, which the other soaps did not. However, it doesn't really seem to matter when I put it on my face. It seems to still give me a good layer of protection. Now, I think I'm happy with the, I'll go ahead. Sometimes I wish I could shave twice a day. I'm really enjoying this whole wet shaving thing. Sometimes I wish I could do it more. Little margin time. Gonna chill out, be cathartic for a minute. As you can see, that this guy is holding, in that bowl, we're holding plenty of reasonable lather. I don't know if Yardley puts real type ingredients in their Shea and Buttermilk soap, but that might help one's skin if you're looking for those type ingredients. So this is the distilled water run. Pass number 3. I don't really like, at least with my neck area, I do not like against the grain passes. Traditionally, they are very uncomfortable. I think my skin it's not sensitive or very sensitive, but it's somewhat sensitive. And so sometimes it barks at me. Okay, now I got all kinds of some weirdness going on with the hair direction. That's important for you to map out. Down here, it kind of comes this way for just like an inch. So let's see, let me go this way then. That's not irritating. And then I'm gonna go. This should be a 90 degree. Stretch out those Adam's apple hairs. This is my trouble spot right here. It should still be 90 degree because it takes a turn and goes that way. Over this side, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It kind of comes down and sweeps this way. Map your face. That'll really help you. It's kind of a cross grain run right there. Little touch up spot there. So my face is not any more irritated than when I use the real creams. Let's take a look. Sorry about my keys jingling. I like the Bluebird blade. I still need some kind of focused attention right here, but I've got so much razor burn right there from the last few days of trying to hack at that with maybe a blade that should have been thrown away. I'm going to leave that alone, so I'll just rinse. So I think kind of like having that trouble spot down here because it means you can gauge razors and blades and shaving cream by a standard. You know, if I do 3 passes in the same way with the same direction and one of them ends up wiping out those little neck hairs right there, then that's money. That is good stuff. But so many of them leave several of them right there. Not too obvious, but still there. A little bit of irritation, but nothing different than other razors and premium soaps. So, Cheapskate Razor Monthly. You can have an option of Yardley, London, for sensitive skin, Shea Buttermilk. Bar of soap. Also, if you're traveling, this might be good because the soap can be used for yourself, your body, as well as your face to shave. And it does have a mild fragrance, but it's just kind of a clean, soapy smell. They didn't really do too much to it. The first time I kind of put it on, I almost thought there wasn't any fragrance to it. So it is very mild, but it just cracks me up that it's $1 for that bar of soap. And if I would have spent more time with it, loading it up in the brush. Here, let's just take a look now for research purposes. This has had a chance to kind of sit and go through 3 passes. You can see right there on the edge how the bubbles are kind of starting to dry out a little bit. You know, but when it was big, it had a sheen and very serviceable. The result on my face is pretty much identical to what I have gotten with those nice soaps. Now, if you know, they might have some better ingredients that help your skin to feel better, and so that might be a good reason to have those. I'm not saying everybody get rid of your expensive tubs and switch to this. I thought I was just curious to see if whipping up a good lather with this stuff was possible. And sure enough, I was able to do it with distilled water, and earlier today I did it with hard water, tap water, and it worked great both times. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. This time was with distilled water, Mercure 38 HD, with a bluebird in it. First time use on that blade. Whipped dog brush, silver tip, badger, Dollar Tree shaving bowl, aka dog. Hey, okay, whipped dog brush, dog food bowl from the Dollar Tree. Are we sensing a theme? All right. Well, there you go. A little bit of information for you about cheap soap, lathering, and the wet shaving.